I heard a scream. Everyone was scared and I jumped on the guy, shouting, "Call the police, call the ambulance." He started crying.
What would you say to him if he was sitting here right now? Well, your house was attacked.
"Hero of Leicester Square, you are a legend."
They never mentioned your name.
Because I'm a Muslim.
That's quite a big accusation to make.
It's Abdullah, take the name Abdullah. Why you're scared of taking the name Abdullah? It's Abdullah who stopped the attack.
We've all wondered what we'd do if we saw a crime happening in front of our eyes and the fight or flight response kicks in. Well, for my guest today, it was an easy answer. He's being hailed as a hero for saving an 11-year-old girl and her mother from a knife-wielding attacker in London's Leicester Square. It's time to get unchained. Assalamu alaikum. Abdullah, thank you for joining me.
Walaikum assalam, thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your background, where you're from, and what happened that day.
I'm from Ep.9, Pakistan, and I moved in this country almost 3 years before. And it was an ordinary day. I was working as a loss prevention officer in TWG shop. So it was like almost 11:30, and I was looking inside the shop, and I heard a scream of a kid and her mom. So as I looked outside, and there was a guy, and he was stabbing a 11-year-old girl.
Man.
The moment I saw and heard the screams, it was just a natural instinct. I couldn't hold myself, and I just started running to save the girl.
What was other people doing when you saw this little girl being attacked by this crazy man?
To be honest, no one came closer. Everyone was scared.
Not a single person stepped in or said stop.
Single person at the first moment. I started running, and everyone was scared. The moment I started running towards the girl, and it just took like 2 to 3 seconds to reach him, and I just jumped on the guy. To be honest, I never had that training.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with that situation. It was just natural. Actually, I used to watch police videos. So but I never did it actually.
Well, like movies?
Yeah, like movies or just like, in live, we see the footages of police. So it was just natural. I just jumped on him. I grabbed his hand in which he was carrying a knife. I saw the girl was bleeding.
Oh, man.
Especially 11-year-old girl, imagine.
Oh, that's terrible. Did he try to attack you with the weapon?
Actually, he wasn't looking at me. His focus was on the girl, and he was continuously stabbing. Imagine stabbing a girl, tiny girl, for 8 times in just few seconds. So the moment I jumped on him, I grabbed his hand in which he was carrying a knife, and I twisted his arm a bit and tackled him on the floor. The moment he fell, he lost the grip of the knife. And I just kicked it away and kicked the knife away and twisted his arm a bit more and kept my right knee on top of his head so that he can't move. And then a couple of other people joined as well.
So once you restrained him, other people then joined in and held him on the ground.
Yeah. And then I started shouting, "Call the police, call the ambulance." And one of my security colleagues came, and then I asked him, "Bring the first aid kit." And then he bought the first aid kit, and then people gathered and they gave her the first aid kit. And then I hold him for 5 minutes. After maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, he tried to run. He used the force, but I controlled him really hard. I hold him really firmly. And after 5 minutes, then police arrived and then arrested him.
Where do you think you got that bravery from? Because as you said, a lot of people were watching on, too scared to do anything. So where do you think you found that bravery inside yourself to put your life on the line to save that little girl?
I was a football player, so it comes naturally as well. We Pakistanis are naturally brave, and also used to play football. So it's a men's game. Football is a men's game. You have to tackle. If I was not naturally brave, my first instinct should be thinking about myself. In this country, I'm alone. My family is back home. If anything happens to me, who's going to take care of me? So I didn't think any of that. I just only thought to save the kid, to save a life.
What was your family thinking when they heard the news? Did they know about it? What happened?
So later, after the incident, I called my brother that this incident happened. And he was so proud of you.
Really?
Yeah, and my family was so proud of me. All my relatives, all my friends, and all the people of the area was visiting my home, meeting my mother. They were saying, "You gave birth to such a brave boy." And she was crying and she was saying, my mom was saying, like, you made me proud.
SubhanAllah. So do you think that some of that braveness comes from your faith as well?
Exactly, 100%. So I think it's in the Quran as well. If you save one person, you save the whole humanity.
Yes.
So it's just like saving a person, it's just saving the whole humanity.
I think a lot of people who don't have faith, they become very individual. They will think about themselves first. But in Islam, if we see something wrong, if we see oppression, injustice, it's our duty to do something about it. We feel like we will answer on Judgment Day for the things that we didn't do, that we should have done. Like, for instance, if you didn't jump in and that girl might have sadly lost her life, other people might think, well, that's sad, but, you know, what could I do? But as a Muslim, we would actually think, I might have to answer for this because I could have done something and I didn't.
100%. There's a hadith of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. If you see something bad happening, first of all, try to stop it by hand. And if you can't stop it by hand, just use your voice to stop it. If you can't use your voice, you can't say it, just think about it like bad from your heart. So the first priority was to stop it by hand, and I just did that.
It's kind of amazing as well because during that time there was a lot of protests and riots of people protesting about immigration, and you yourself are an immigrant. So I was quite obviously not happy about the situation, but I was quite happy to see there was a Pakistani brother who was the hero of the day.
Yeah, there was an incident 2 weeks before in Southport where there was quite a few kids were killed and then injured as well. So after that incident, it has nothing to do with the Muslims. It has nothing to do with the Muslims and or Pakistanis. And after the incident, for these last 2 weeks, continuously before this incident, there was attacks on the Muslims, attacks on the immigrants, especially in the north of the country. Actually, in the whole country, it was happening. So many people came and met me after the incident, which were affected by these riots.
Yeah.
There was one family, they came from Newcastle to meet me. Newcastle is the other end of the country. People from Bradford, from Birmingham.
Are these people from different backgrounds?
Most of them were from Pakistani background, but they were for Arabic, even Chinese people from Hong Kong. People from all over the world came and met me. The family which came from Newcastle, he came with his kids, his wife, and he came and he's like, I came for you to meet you. After the incident, he came actually after 3 weeks. So he was saying in these 3 weeks, earlier before this incident, there was like continuously attacks on my home because I'm the only Muslim home in my area. So during the riots, people are coming, kicking the door, throwing stone at my home.
Well, your house was attacked.
To that person's
The people were telling you that their house has been attacked.
Yeah, the family from Newcastle. And after the incident, he's like 3 weeks are passed. There was not even a single incident. Because of you, you changed my life. You changed my family's life. And he was telling his kids, you might have seen the heroes in the movies jumping in and saving the people.
Yeah.
But in real life, he's the real hero. And then he was taking pictures with me.
What are your opinions on how Muslims are being portrayed in the media nowadays?
I think the media plays a very important role here. And that's why we have to stop the Islamophobia. We are seeing this Islamophobia all over the world. And I think my incident was a positive image to the world.
Yeah.
There are Muslims here who risk their own life to save others. The people who I saved, I don't know them. They were not Muslims. They were the guests of this country.
I think it's important for people watching this to understand that in every society and every background, you have good people and you have bad people. Likewise, you have good British people and bad British people.
Exactly.
I think it's important for people to realize that.
Exactly. If there is any incident, if some immigrant is doing something, that's an individual act. Don't take it like the whole immigrants are like that. Even for English people or the local community, if someone is doing anything bad, it's just an individual person who is doing that.
Yeah.
Or if it's a Muslim is doing or Christian or anyone is doing that, take it as an individual. Don't take it as a whole religion or the whole community or whole immigrants.
That's what I feel like nowadays, this is what happens. Like whenever you hear a bad story in the news, you're kind of like praying to God, please don't let it be a Muslim, because then this is all going to kick off again about the Muslims. And it's kind of got like that on social media now. I log on to X and I look at my timeline and I'm just constantly being fed offensive Islamophobic tweets. And if it's coming on my timeline, then it must be being pushed out to other people. So what sort of role do you think social media plays into Islamophobia?
Exactly, especially our Muslims who have a large audience, either YouTubers or mainstream media, then they have a very important role in this. That they need to educate the people that they are the individuals who are doing that thing. Don't consider it as the whole religion or the whole community is doing that. So social media plays a really important role. People with millions of subscribers, they play a really important role to finish this Islamophobia from the whole world.
So going back to the incident and what happened afterwards, you said a lot of people from all different backgrounds came and showed you a lot of love. I understand you also met some important people as well, and you've won some awards. Would you like to go into what sort of things have happened to you in your life since this incident?
Literally, the life changed after this incident. I have met some senior politicians. Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, sent me a letter of appreciation of bravery. And he's like, people like you in London, or London is safe because of the people like you. Other than that, on 14th August, I was invited in the Pakistan's Independence Day ceremony. I did the speech there as well. I didn't do the speeches like that in front of like huge audience.
Yeah.
And it was suddenly, tomorrow you have a speech. So the people really liked my story. They were proud of me.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people coming and like, we want to take a photo with you. High military officials there. Even on the street, people saying, hero of Leicester Square, you are a legend. On the train station, sitting with someone, and people taking phone out and taking the pictures with me.
So you were getting recognized on the street?
Yeah, especially at the start, like every other person knows me. Like every person knows me. I was going to a shop near my home and they're like, we are not going to take payment from you.
Really? So you're getting free stuff as well?
Yeah. And going to a chicken shop, they're like, we are not going to charge you.
Oh, result, man.
Yeah, that's especially for the first week, people were not taking money from me. Obviously, no one can give me the free food like forever. Yeah, but like very nice of them.
That's why you have to keep on the podcasts and the interviews, just keep reminding people that you're the hero from Leicester Square. So at the time, you said you was a security guard, is that right?
Yes.
Are you still a security guard?
So after the incident, many people came up with job opportunities. Few people asked us, we can give you a scholarship if you want to study further ahead. So I told them, I already did the master's. I need a job. House of Lord member Amir Sarfraz, he was really nice person. He was continuously in contact with me. So he bring a job as well for me. And he's like, there is a job offer. But at that time, I already accepted another job offer.
So you had choices.
Yes. So big thanks to Criterion Hospitality. After the incident, they came up and asked me if you want to do for study further ahead, we're going to give the scholarship. So I asked them, like, I need a job. Then I had an interview with the HR and then like, okay, or the head of residency, he will take your interview. If he likes you, then maybe we can hire you. Like, okay, good enough. And then, okay, like, are you free tomorrow? I have a job, but early morning I'm free. They're like, okay, come early morning tomorrow. And as I gave the interview, he's like, you gave a very good interview and I will let you know. And on the same evening, they called me and offered a job as assistant building manager.
Wow.
So I was looking for a management job for 1 year. After the incident, I'm working there now.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has definitely rewarded you for that day.
Exactly. I think it's the prayers of my parents, especially my mother. And she was always worried about me, that I'm the youngest in my family. You're like, I want you to be settled.
Yeah.
And I think it was her prayers.
You said you were getting recognized, you're meeting politicians, you're receiving letters from politicians, famous, important people. How do you stop all of this getting to your head? How do you stop getting a big head?
To be honest, at the very start, I didn't know how to deal with the media. I was receiving like thousands of messages, calls. My phone was like continuously vibrating. I kept my phone on vibration. It was continuously vibrating. And I don't know whom to answer, whom to text. Few people were saying me hire an advisor who gonna receive calls on your behalf, and then he can decide where you're gonna give the interview. Or like
you needed an agent at that time.
Yeah. But alhamdulillah, everything went well.
So have you accepted all of the invites, interviews? Have you been keeping yourself really busy, or have you had to turn down some as well?
I have to turn down, to be honest. It wasn't possible to answer each and every one.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like, you come across as such a nice guy, I can't imagine you saying, sorry, I'm not doing it.
It was really tough for me to say no to anyone. I'm so humble. I should not, say no to anyone. I don't want to be rude to someone. But humanly, it's not possible to be at like many places at one time.
Yeah.
And then I have a job as well. I took few days off at start, but still I need time for myself as well.
Yeah, there's only so much time.
Yeah, and in the starting day, I was not able to sleep properly. I was not able to eat properly. I'm eating and people are calling me because they love me. And
Yeah. I guess this is going back again to what we were speaking about in terms of like the riots and Islamophobic rhetoric that we're hearing on social media. Before you came here, I just wanted to brush up a little bit on your story. When I searched your name and Leicester Square Attack, there's nothing comes up. Not a single article comes up about it. But when you search Leicester Square Attack or Attacker, there's loads. So what I realized when I was going through them is that they never mentioned your name.
because I'm a Muslim.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, because I'm a Muslim. Mine is Abdullah. So anyone who takes this name Abdullah, they know it's a Muslim name. So I've seen the articles, the newspapers, how they're portraying is they're like, people of the public stopped the attack. People of the private business stopped the attack. It's Abdullah. Take the name Abdullah. Why you're scared of taking the name Abdullah? It's Abdullah who stopped the attack, not the members of the public.
It's like it's been wiped out. Because I know when it happened on social media, I knew your name because there were probably other Muslim content creators that were saying it was Abdullah. Man's name's Abdullah. So I knew your name, but it's like it's been wiped off Google. Like I can't find any articles. It's just crazy, man.
True. Yeah. That's if there was anyone else instead of me, it was any other name. John or Paul,
100%.
any name.
If the attacker was called Abdullah, it would be everywhere.
Exactly.
What would you say to the media about that situation? I'm sure the journalists, let's just get that on record. Did they ask you for your name when they were asking what happened?
So at the start, they were asking me because they doesn't know my name. And they asked me, what's your name? I'm like, Abdullah, and your age and this and that.
Yeah.
It was the starting interviews, like BBC, Sky.
Yeah.
They took my interview. It was at the time of incident. But later on, no one called me to the main morning shows.
Did you get interviewed by a mainstream British TV channal?
So I had an interview like at the time of incident, BBC, Sky News, Australian Broadcasting Channel, Al Jazeera. But for English channels, they were saying it's a case going on in the court, so we can't discuss it at the moment. Fair enough. I don't know about these technical things, like we can give the interviews while the case is going in the court or no. If the case going to decided after 1 year, who knows who's Abdullah after 1 year, maybe.
Yeah. You've given interviews, so that is not true then, because you've given interviews to other TV channels. They knew your name, so your name's out there. They could have at least written articles and included your name in it, even if they can't interview you directly. So that just sounds like a bit of a cop-out, really. Did you manage to speak to the girl or the mother since that awful day?
After maybe 5 to 6 days, her mom contacted me and she texted me. She's like, I don't want to go to the media and saying thank you to you. I just want to say thank you privately by the core of my heart. And we want to be stay in contact with you for whole our lives. And that was like really emotional message. I started crying.
Beautiful. And do you know much about the attacker?
The case is still ongoing and he's in jail.
What would you say to him if he was sitting here right now?
What can I say? I think a normal person can never do something like that. It's definitely either he's a mental patient, 100%. There couldn't be any other reason. But when I was holding him on the ground, at that time I couldn't smell any drugs from him or couldn't smell some alcohol or we say he's drunk. So I couldn't feel personally. So I don't know exactly they did some testing or anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't feel personally anything where I feel like he was drunk.
Okay.
So it feels like maybe he was a mental patient or it was some specific targeted. Couldn't say anything. So police is doing the investigation. So
yeah, we'll just say allegedly. It's just an opinion, not a fact.
Yeah, exactly.
When you had him down at the ground, did he look at you at all? Did he look into your eyes?
No, he didn't look at me. That's why I think like he was in some other world. He was in some other world, and he didn't look at me, or like we say like he tried to attack me, or maybe he didn't have time to actually attack me. It was so quick; it was just a millisecond.
Right.
So he couldn't have time to attack me because the hand in which he was having a knife, I just hold that hand and just he's on the floor and his hand is twisted, and on his head I'm having my knee. So he have no option actually.
So what would you say to people who might be in the same situation? Would you advise them to do what you done and jump in and save a life, or would you actually advise them to not get involved?
I would go 100 out of 100 times. If it's gonna come again, I'm gonna do it again. Because I told you I'm brave, so I'm gonna go for it. I'm not gonna think about my life. I think same. Again, there's a religious thing in it. If you save one life, you save the whole humanity.
Yeah.
So there's nothing better than saving the whole humanity. So I'm gonna do that. But I would say it depends on the situation. If you feel that you can save someone's lives, 100% go for it. Otherwise, our protocol is if you see any incident like this, save yourself, call the police, and wait for the police.
Right.
It happened in the Southport as well. So there was no one who jumped in to stop him. As a result, there were so many kids, 7 or 8 kids were killed, and a few other kids and adults were injured because there was no one to stop him. If you're able to stop it, go for it.
But with Southport, even on social media, everyone was like, what's his name? What's his name? Because the Islamophobes were hoping it's a Muslim name, and like the Muslims are hoping, oh, this is not one of us that's done this. It's crazy because Islamophobic rhetoric is being pushed online. And I don't know what Muslims can do. We've been in this country for a long, long time, many generations, helped to build this country up. You know, we're doctors, we're surgeons, we're dentists, we're train drivers, we're bus drivers, we're security guards. So I don't know what we could do more as a community.
I think we should support each other. When I moved into this country, because as a student, you are struggling, you just need a part-time job. So all your friends, all your people around you are doing like similar jobs, working in a restaurants, working in a security jobs. So after getting a management job, I saw that there are many people who are on like really good position. The people who met me after the incident, I can see who are directors, who are like really senior managers, lawyers, head of media, like in a very good position. So I was thinking, like if all these people support the new generations who are coming in this country, many people could be in good positions. If we help our society or the people who are immigrants or the people who are coming from abroad, I was thinking myself, if I could open some foundation or some organizations, I need some support, like a guidance maybe as well.
100%,
where we can support the people who is coming from abroad. The most important thing is the guidance. They're all educated. Most of them did the bachelors. They are engineers. They are doctors, but they are not able to find the job because maybe they don't have the guidance. Maybe they don't have the first job is the most important thing. If you get a step into your field, and then it's all yours. So if I can open a foundation, an organization, maybe a group of people who can guide like how we can go and start some system like that, it would be great. And then from there, we can have more people in good positions, more people coming on media, and then we can change the mindset of the people and then finish this Islamophobia.
What would you say to people who are Islamophobic or just uneducated in a sense? They hear whatever the newspapers or the media says and they run with it and they carry this animosity around. What would you say to them as an immigrant yourself?
I would say just think. If you're going to the McDonald's at 4 a.m. and you will see an immigrant working there, you will not see an English person working at a McDonald's at 4 or 3 at the night. They are the immigrants who are doing that. If you do the security field, if you go to the security field, you will see half of them are Pakistanis. And they are the immigrants.
I would say that rich people are willing to work hard and would work in those sort of jobs, but you're right in the sense that more often than not, when you go into these places, as you said, 4 a.m, it is going to be, maybe a South Asian working there, and they are very hard workers, aren't they?
Exactly. That's the thing. If you think that they just came in this country to work hard and to make their family's life better, to change their life, and definitely of changing their life means changing the lives of this country as well,
Right.
contributing for the economy of this country.
I think that's what people need to realize. Most people are coming over to this country for a better life,
Yep.
for the long term, to put back into the system. And it's actually the minority that come over here to maybe abuse the system, cause trouble. So I think people need to realize that and not get so caught up in the media and whatever agenda is being pushed, because when you sit back and look at it, it's constantly being pushed. Certain creators on social media are also being pushed as well and getting the algorithmic support, being put up on this pedestal. We're seeing a lot of that nowadays. So I think it's important for people that have that opinion to maybe step back and think deeply about it. Like we just said, is everything we are seeing in the media the 100% truth? Or is it just an agenda at play to cause riots and disputes between each other for whatever reason?
True, 100%. There's two pictures. One is the picture which the media shows, and one is the reality. So maybe there will be very few media people who will be showing like very few reality, and they will be just pick and choose. They will be picking the thing which is against the immigrants, and they won't be seeing those things which is the bigger part, which they are doing the good work in the society. They won't be showing that.
Yeah.
So the media plays a really important role. And the people need to think as well. They need to look around other than the media as well. That what's actually happening. It's not like exactly what the media shows. If you see around you, you will see the reality is different.
Yeah.
So that's why I say think yourself, not just see the media and just make your opinion.
It's just come to my mind now as well when I was trying to research about you. I won't say his name because I don't want the interview to get taken down, but his first name's Tommy. I read something where he made up a lie about you.
Yes. Imagine someone who's having a huge following and the way he's posting something which is fake.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this guy because I don't have time to search or watch the news because I was working, I was studying. And after the incident, one of my flatmates, they told that there's one guy and he's really popular and he's sharing a tweet which is with your name. I never had a Twitter X account ever in my life.
Yeah.
They asked me if you make one and just clarify to the world that that's not you. And then I made an account and posted a video on a TikTok, made a TikTok account, and also on X account, I shared that. Imagine someone is having a huge following.
Yeah.
Even if I post something, I read the post like 10 times if I shouldn't be saying anything which could hurt someone,
Right.
or it shouldn't be a lie. And someone who is having like millions of followers and he's sharing something like this, it could never be a mistake. It's intentional.
To be fair, I haven't seen what he said. I've only read an article about what was said. But from what I gathered, he was insinuating that you support a certain prescribed T group. The group begins with H. That's quite a big accusation to make against yourself because, as we know, with your visa status, that could have cost you a lot. If you looked into the legal aspect of what might have been said.
They're very clever. He didn't say directly. He posted it as well.
Right.
And then he told if this account is his account.
If right.
Like telling the news as well, and then also covering himself as well. So we can't go against him in the court.
He's a paid agent because he himself goes around talking about anti-immigration. But from what I've gathered, he lives in Spain and he got arrested in Canada or America for breaking the immigration laws. So you got these people against immigration, but then at the same time, they're hypocrites. They're doing it themselves in other places. People that follow this guy, people like him, need to be careful and do their thorough research because they might have hidden agendas, hidden motives. We don't know who's paying them either. He's got like GoFundMe campaigns as well going on. So really be mindful of who you're following on social media and what their hidden motives could be.
I receive few messages on my TikTok, on my inboxes as well, on different social media account. A few are like threats as well. So I don't know. It could be his followers, or it could be anyone else as well. But I received those messages, and it's a security risk for me as well.
Yeah.
Literally, especially after the incident, I was really careful whenever I was going to the train station, because people know me, and all these riots were going as well. And it affects you as well. You know, in your mind, it's all the time it's going on. So maybe someone is following me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm coming back from work at night time. It's definitely affects you.
100%. Yeah, there's some crazy people out there, man.
Yeah, and like this guy who attacked, definitely a crazy guy. So there are many crazy guys, could be his followers as well.
You're a footballer, right, as well?
Yes, I do play football, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you became a footballer? Because it's not the main sport in Pakistan, is it?
Yeah, my cousin and my few friends were playing football and they're like, let's play football. So we started playing from the street and then going to the local football ground, playing there, seeing the club players playing there. So then I started having a passion that I should start playing as well. And in our culture, it's like whoever is the heaviest who can't run, he's the goalkeeper. So it's like
I think that's the same all around the world.
So there's one of the guys who was the goalkeeper there, and we were playing against other kids. I was quite young. I think it's in 2008 or 2009 that time. So he was receiving really easy goals. So like I'm gonna be a goalkeeper, and I was actually good in it. And then I thought to myself, like, I could be a good goalkeeper. It was
so you're a goalkeeper?
Yes, I'm a goalkeeper.
I don't know why, but I thought you were a winger for some reason.
I'm a goalkeeper, so I'm good in jumping. So that's why I jumped on that guy as well.
Now it's starting to make sense.
Yeah, so in football, especially as a goalkeeper, the timing is really important.
Timing is important.
Yes, what time you're gonna jump, even it's a penalties or normal game.
Yeah.
So the jumping on that guy, I think it helps me as well.
Yeah.
So I was looking at his hand when his hand gonna come at back, and then I'm gonna jump on him. So that helps as well. So yeah, I was a goalkeeper. I played for 10 years. I played for my club, for my city team, for my division team, for my university team. So I played quite a lot.
Do you watch a lot of English football, like the Premier League?
I watch cricket, but I play football. So I don't know if it makes sense or not.
What I realised is there's a large community of Pakistani and South Asians in this country, United Kingdom.
Yeah.
But they are massively underrepresented in football. What do you think about that?
Maybe facilities, maybe racism.
Is football getting more popular in Pakistan?
To be honest, it is quite popular. Cricket is more popular, but there is no facilities for the football players. I have personally seen a football player who played for Pakistan national team for 10 years. Now he's selling bananas on the streets.
Crazy.
And no one knows him.
And he's a national...
He's a national player and he played for 10 years all over the world. And no one knows his name because it doesn't come on the national channel. Even if you ask me, I'm a football player myself. If you ask me the name of the Pakistan football team, I won't know.
It's a shame really because Pakistan has a lot of places where, similar to like Brazil, you get like the street footballers or the kids really good at football. I feel like Pakistan could, create some quality football players, but it's just not even thought about as a national sport over there.
The amount of money we spend on cricket, if you spend that much money in football, you will see a very good footballers and you will see the ranking of Pakistan football team. I have played football. I know the situation of the grounds. I'm a goalkeeper, so I think 10 times to jump on the ground because there are all stones.
Yeah.
It's not even like mud or...
Yeah.
Right? These are really stones.
Yeah.
So if we give the facilities to the players, and definitely we could have like very good footballers.
If you could tell me a little bit more about what your life was like growing up, just so I can, and the viewers can understand who Abdullah really is.
I was born in a religious family. My family is quite practicing. My grandfather was a religious scholar and really well known. And he was the imam of the mosque. One of my uncles is also an imam of one of the mosques in my village.
Mashallah.
So my sister is alim as well. So I'm from a religious background. So I was always practicing. And then I was doing my studies, playing football, did my bachelor's in electrical electronics engineering. And then I decided to move to UK because one of my brothers already living here. Did my master's in project management. And with the dream that I'm going to be a manager after maybe some time. And it seems like the dream is coming true now.
And you came over here by yourself, right?
Yes.
So what's that like? Put me in the shoes of an immigrant coming over from a very distant place to a foreign land like United Kingdom. What goes through the mind of an immigrant leaving everything behind to pursue a dream?
Leaving the family is really tough. You listen the news, you listen from the people who are abroad. But when you are leaving yourself, that's a different feeling. When you're on a plane and you're just flying over the sea, and then you think, I'm really, really far away from my home. You can feel at that time. Earlier, you can't feel that. When I was on the plane for the very first time and flying over the sea, and I was feeling that's actually like really, really far away. You see in the map, like it's Pakistan is here, UK is here.
Yeah.
But when you're really flying, then you feel like the plane is flying so fast, and like for so long I'm flying over the sea. It's actually really, really far away. And you do miss your family, your parents, your sibling, your nephews. And then leaving each and everything with the dream that we're going to improve our lifestyle to support our family, to have a better future. And then if we face these rights and then people doing the discrimination, that hurts. If someone is leaving his everything and come with a dream, and someone just shatter your dreams with some racist comments, that hurts.
Do you feel like most immigrants, when they come to United Kingdom or America or wherever they choose to go, do you think most immigrants actually do want to be part of that society?
100%. I decided this country out of like almost 200 countries to just this specific countries. It could be any other country. I definitely want to be part of this society. That's why I came in this country. Spending like whole of your earnings to move to some other country, definitely to become a part of the society, even not just for UK, if you're going to any other country.
Yeah.
All the immigrants want to serve the society, be a part of the society, definitely.
What's the main emotion do you think immigrants have when they come here? Would you say that a lot of them are lonely?
Yes.
Vulnerable?
Maybe for starting few days, they will see, oh, huge buildings, so nice and clean.
Yeah.
For the maybe starting 1 week, it feels good. After that, when you start working and you get busy, then it feels like, yes, they feel like homesick and they feel like lonely, vulnerable. Working at night, coming back home at 3 a.m., at 2 a.m., walking alone on the street at dark.
Yeah.
So that time they do feel, yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you spent a lot of your savings to come and pursue this dream. So a lot of the thing I hear from people who are against immigration is that they come over here, they get all this money, they get somewhere to stay in nice hotels. I understand some of that does go on whilst people are in the middle of, moving into somewhere or getting on their feet. But that isn't the case for all immigrants, is it?
Exactly. I would say like maybe 95% of people come with proper visa. They pay for the air ticket, they pay for their rent here, they pay for their universities. And especially when you convert this economy to their home country, it's a lot. It's a lot. So people spend their whole life earnings. Their parents work for 30, 40 years. And whatever they earn, they give each and every penny to their kid so that they come here. And then if you hear that he came by boat and he is living here for free in the hotel, that's not the case.
That's a small percentage, isn't it?
That's maybe like 1 or 2%.
And a lot of them people are actually running away from horrible war-torn places and they need help, right?
True.
And it's probably a very tiny, minuscule percent that come over here just to do crime and take money away from the government. Because as you said, most, 95%, probably more, spend a lot of money to get here and get an education or have a better life. That vast majority wouldn't spend all of the money they got to come here and get benefits from the government, which is probably a pittance in comparison to how much they spent to actually get here in the first place.
100%. Yeah. Personally, I don't know anyone who is doing like that. So imagine if I know like 1,000 people, I don't know any of them. So you can understand from a 1% point of view, like how rare they are.
I know you're not a security guard anymore, but back when you were doing security, how would you know if someone's up to no good in a shop?
I think from his body language, you could guess. So if 10 people are walking, so I will see among these 10 people, who is the one who could be stealing or who could be a thief or who could be attacker. So it's with time you have a good idea and you have a good guess. Like this is the guy from the way they walk, the way they look. If he's looking at me, or if he's acting weird, or if his intention is not to buy anything. He's entering the shop, but he's not looking at anything. So his intention is not to buy. So with time, you get an experience. From their face, you can see, from their dressing, from their looks. So you get an idea, like, this is the one who could be stealing. And most of the time, you're true, like, and I've caught many times people stealing. Other things as well, if someone is entering the shop with an empty bag.
Yeah. That's a giveaway.
Yeah. And there are a few other things that are really interesting. If some lady is entering the shop and her purse is open. So when someone is stealing, they don't have time to open the zip and then will put in. So it's already open.
Yeah.
So when they have the opportunity, they're going to put it immediately. Or another technique is their bag is open. So if they will know that we security will get it, that their bag is open. So they will put their bag on their right or left hand, and then they will put a jacket or something on top of it so that we can't see the back.
Right.
So that if it's open, then we will get to know. So they try to hide it with something on top of it. It's probably a jacket or something like that. So if someone is moving with the jacket on top of the back or in his hand, keep an eye on that person.
Yeah. A lot of the times it's people that you wouldn't expect as well. I think I was reading something before that a lot of the shoplifters are actually middle class, older women that you wouldn't expect to go in a shop and steal. But then it's not that they're doing it because they need the money. It's just become like an addiction.
Yes, true. I've seen people wearing really nice dresses, young age, even old people using their kids, using a prom, keeping their stuff inside. Everywhere. They use like all sort of techniques.
You look at the pram, that's not a baby. It's a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know this guy is going to steal.
Yeah.
And I gave him chance to steal. I'm watching him, but that person thinks that I'm not watching him. I let him steal, and then I'm going to caught him.
Yeah.
So sometimes they will be carrying something, and I don't know that he didn't pay.
Yeah.
So I will be looking somewhere else. But my sixth sense is know that when he's trying to leave, I'm going to stop.
You got to be 100% sure though, isn't it? Because people got cameras nowadays, and if you're wrong, they're going to put the camera on you. And
Obviously, if I'm not 100% sure, I'm not going to stop him.
Yeah.
Even if I have a doubt, I'm not going to stop him.
It's just not worth it, man.
Yeah, unless it's 100%, then I'm going to stop him.
Yeah.
Sometimes they behave like they took some item and they will keep waiting that if we are distracted, we are answering someone else. And sometimes they come in pairs. One person will be there to distract me. Someone will ask me questions. Someone will come near me and start shouting on a phone.
Yeah.
And I will be looking at him, and the other person is going to be stealing. So they use all these techniques. So if someone is acting weird, my first thing is to look somewhere else. So he is acting weird. There is someone else who is there.
You don't want to give it away.
Yeah, so someone else is there who is going to be stealing. This is just a technique to distract me. As a kid, we used to play police and a thief as a kid. So it's just like, let's do it. And I'm going to catch you. One old person, like he was above 70 years old. I was in Lego store. So our company works in Lego store and this TWG as well. So sometime I work in Lego, sometime I work in TW. So I was in Lego store. That was carrying a huge box of like above 500 pounds. And
wow. Of Lego, £500 worth of Lego.
Yeah, there's above 700 pounds as well. So yeah. So it was like 500 pound worth of a box, like huge box. And I can see him coming down the stairs. He looked at me, and the moment he looked at me like this, I knew like he's going to try. And now I'm behaving like I'm not looking at him.
How's he getting out of a massive box of Lego?
They do try.
They just kind of walk out with it.
They're going to try with it. And he just went across and just gathered in between the other people, kids, so that I couldn't see him. But I'm not looking at him directly, but I know he's the one he's going to try. Let him try. So the moment I'm looking at the other side and he's trying to now leave the store, the moment he entered, reached the entry gate, now he's like going to exit. I stopped him, like, show me the receipt. He's like, I'm not leaving the store. So that's the, this, I have heard this line many, many times. They will be leaving the store and they were like, we are not leaving.
They're waiting for you to not see them leave. Really? Is it true that you can't touch them until they've left the building?
Yeah. So there's a rule. Until they don't leave the store, you can't stop them. So I will wait for them to leave. So as they are exiting, and they're almost exit, but they were like, we are not leaving. I'm like, you're already outside of the store.
Yeah.
and then sometimes they try to, what's your name? How you can stop me?
Yeah.
You know, they try to come back to me. So like, that's my name. Do whatever you want. Give me the item back. And sometimes like, no, we already paid, or we came inside with this item. That's my own item.
What's crazy to me is like in America, when you go over there, you see like all the security and the police, they're all armed.
Yeah.
Even in England, I know the police sometimes carry around like batons and stuff. We don't have arms, but there is a high rate of violent crime, especially in London.
Yeah.
And security guards literally have nothing to defend themselves with. I've always thought of that to be a strange thing.
Police still have something, you know, a rod or something, a pepper spray or something, but we security guard have nothing, and
Nothing.
And even we don't have much authority to stop them.
Yeah, you're not even allowed to wear like a vest underneath.
95% no one have this.
Yeah.
Any protection, nothing. So I do believe that all the SIA security guards, they should be given same recognition the way they give to NHS,
100%.
the way they give it to police. These are the first one who get attacked, who are in danger. They do get nothing.
It's a dangerous job, man, because people that are stealing, some of them, they're desperate. And like if you try to stop them stealing something that might be paying for their food, their habits, who knows what they're capable of. Also, I've heard stories where the shoplifter has actually taken the security guard to court, and the security guards have lost their jobs because they've had to hold down the shoplifter, but they've done it in too much of an aggressive way. So, as you said, they should at least have something to protect themselves with.
I do feel that sometimes, especially working alone, you are vulnerable. And sometimes who are stealing, they are the professionals who are stealing. I was working in Apple store as well. In Kingston, I was in Apple store. So I've seen the people, they will come masked. They will just grab the phone and run.
Yeah.
And they are not scared.
No.
We are like 3 of us are there, and the 2 of them are special security officers. They are wearing the vests. They are big.
Yeah.
They are like ex-police or ex-military. They are not scared of them, and we don't have much authority to stop them.
What are you going to do if they've got like hammers or something? You're going to really jump in front of a hammer to save some phones. Do you have training like self-defense?
Really, really basic. It's just a 1-week course.
What can you learn in a week, really?
And most of them is like just a theoretical. So the practical is like just a couple of days.
They're just ticking a box.
Whatever they teach, in reality, it doesn't happen. No one gonna come slowly and,
Yeah.
Most of them is aggressive.
That's crazy, man.
And that's, as a year, they told like to protect yourself first. That's not an option. If I wait for 5 minutes, then that kid and her mom won't be in this.
Exactly.
It's same like Southport. No one was there to stop him, and he killed so many kids. So if I would have done the same like a protocol thing, just protect myself, close the door, protect the people inside the store. Everyone is happy. Like, okay, you did your job, and call the police. But as an end result, maybe how many people will be stabbed? How many people might not be in this world at the moment? They might be killed. So sometimes you have to go out of the box. You have to just go beyond your duty. A very interesting story. I was going back to work, and they told me like there was one guy who just left maybe like few minutes before, and he was asking for you. Like, okay, I look around. He's not. They were saying he was from Hong Kong, and he came over and asked me, where is Jackie Chan? So they were asking like, who's Jackie Chan? So like the same one who's like, who stopped the attacker. So they told like, yo, his shift is not started yet. He will come later. So it was scary, actually. It was horrible to be in a situation like that. And you see the situation in movies, the blood and heroes jumping in and saving the lives. But in reality, it's hard to see someone, a kid,
it's crazy,
screaming and just looking at your eyes like, save me, please. That's totally different than the movies.
100%. And there's a lot of that going on around the world as well at the moment. That was one little girl, one too many, that happened on that incident. And as we know, there's a lot of children suffering in the world right now. People need to have the humility to not only relate to something that is close to home, but also try to feel connected to people away from this country as well, because as we know, there's a lot of suffering in the world as well right now.
it is really sad actually, and no one is doing anything, and people are justifying it, even supporting it. You just need to be a human to just stop it, to stop the killing of the innocent kids, women, pregnant women. How can you see and just justify it?
There's no justification. But inshallah, the suffering will end. Is there anything else you want to say?
I would say, especially to my immigrants, brothers and sisters, like, do support each other. It's we know how these immigrants are suffering in this country or in all over the world. Just do support them, even it's financially, even for getting the jobs, or even the mental support. Just talk to them, or a guidance, whatever you can do. And just do support them, support the humanity, support the system, support the people of this country, become a part of this community, help the community. And that's how they're going to have a good impact as well. And they're going to change their thinking that we immigrants are supporting their country, supporting them, irrespective the way they look at as few people, the way they behave with us or deal with us. If we support them, if we help them, definitely it's going to change the mindset. It's going to change the Islamophobia mindset people. And that's how we can end Islamophobia.
Abdullah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Jazakallah for coming on to Unchained. You've been Unchained. May Allah reward you for what you've done on that day, on that incident. Inshallah, you just keep moving up because you deserve it. You're a hero. Thank you for joining me on Unchained.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.